Welcome to today's video from lessons 9 and 10. So, on homework 9C, numbers 1 through 6, it says, plot the points 2, 6, and negative 1, 3. So 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and negative 1, 3. Alright, what is the slope? So we can determine that by drawing a right triangle. Over here, we went up 3 and out 3. So our slope is our rise over our run. In this case, it was 3 over 3. We can reduce that to 1 over 1, which is the same thing as 1. Alright, what is the y-intercept? Well, to do that, we need to connect the points. And we can see that it is right here. So if we draw that with a different color, right here is our y-intercept. And that's at point 1, 2, 3, 4. So our y-intercept is 4. So then the slope-intercept formula for the line is going to be y equals mx plus b. Y equals, m is just 1, so we can just leave it out because we kind of understand that there's a 1 right here. Y equals mx plus b. What's the standard form of the equation? The standard form is to have no fractions, which we already have none, and then to put x and y on the same side. So to do that, we would subtract x over here and over here. So we would have y minus x equals 4. So it looks a lot the same because there were no fractions, so there was no multiplying on this one. Next part says, which line is parallel? Okay, so parallel means we're going to have the same slope. The slope was 1. Oh, but all of these look like they are not in slope-intercept formula because they all have something in front of the y. So we got to divide that out. And this one we're going to divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. We'd have y equals, this one would be negative x minus 1. Here we're going to have to divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. We're going to get y equals 4/3 x plus 1/3. This one we're going to divide by 5, divide by 5, and we'll get y equals negative x. Now I'm going to check to make sure I wrote it down right. Oh, all right, there we go. This question was, which line is parallel? Which line is parallel to y equals negative x plus 2? All right, so now, ignore this. We're looking for the slope right here, which is negative 1. So then which of the following lines are parallel to negative 1? We can see that this is negative 1, so this one is parallel. That's not negative 1, and this one's negative 1, so this one's parallel too. So if I had written all the question down, we would have gotten that. Draw a line that is parallel to the original line. All right, so parallel to this line right here and passing through the point 2, 2. Okay, so we know that it's going to have to go through 2, 2. And parallel means it's going to have the same slope. So we can go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. We could also go from here and go down and backwards. Down and backwards. So then we can see that that line will go right through all those points. So it's that red line in the graph. It is parallel to the blue one, the original one, and it's through the point 2, 2. Okay, 10b, numbers 9 through 13. Plot the points 2, 3, and -2, -1. So we have 2, 3, and -2, -1. Determine the slope. So we can do that by drawing a right triangle. We're going out and up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so our slope is rise over run. And it's 4 over 4, which will reduce to 1. We're going to draw a line through these points to determine our Y-intercept. So we can see that it passes through right here. So that's the point 0, 1. So it goes through the point 0, 1, which makes B 1. So the slope-intercept formula for this line, y equals m, which is 1, x plus b. Which of the following lines is perpendicular to the line we drew? Okay, so if our m is 1, then the m for a line that's perpendicular, so I'm going to use this perpendicular symbol, m for the line that's perpendicular is going to be the negative reciprocal. So if we flip the fraction 1, 1, and we switch it, it's still going to look like 1 over 1. And now we have to make it negative, so it's negative 1 over 1, which is just negative 1. So now we're looking for a slope that's negative 1. This is 1/2, this is negative 1/2, so this is the only one that's perpendicular to this line that we drew. Okay, our last set of questions for the homework video. All right, 60% of the shoe store's receipts go towards paying for the shoes. What percent is the profit? Okay, so then it gives a hint that says, remember that cost plus profit equals 100%. So if 60% of the receipts, so that would be everything that the shoe store makes, right? Everything that everybody pays are the receipts. 60% of that goes towards paying for the shoes. That would be the cost. So 60% is our cost. What percent is our profit? If we subtract 60 from this side over here, subtract 60 over here, this cancels out. Our profit is 100% minus 60%, or 40%. If the first quarter sales totaled $12,900, what is the amount of profit? Okay, the sales are again everything. That would be like the receipts. It's everything. So if everything is 12,900, how much is profit? Well, we just said that profit was 40%. So 40% of 12,900. When we're working with percents, remember that we can change it to a decimal of 0.4 is 40 or just 0.4, and then of this much would be to multiply by 12,900. So that would be your answer on this one. You would get, whoa, my pencil's getting away from me, $5,160. Now the last question with this one is self-employment tax is 15.3% of the profit. How much do you, the proprietor, have to pay in self-employment tax? So you're the one who owns the business, it's your employment, you are self-employed, and you have a tax of 15.3% of the profit. So we just determined that this is the amount of the first quarter profit. So we can say 5,160 times this in a decimal. So change to a decimal, we move it over 2 times, so we have times 0.153. And that answer, I will let you determine yourself. So 5,160 times 0.153. And that's the answer to that one. That's all I'm going to do on this video. If you watch this video, thank you. And write on your test, I watched your video. And we'll see if we can give some extra points for taking some time to double check your homework and to learn some more. I'll see you guys on Monday.